name is Emmanuel Ngambule. I will be doing a brief introduction of what is the focus of the school and also discussing the different facilities available in the school in line with the vision and the mission of the school. The Department of Architecture and Industrial Design aims and focuses on developing or nurturing sustainable design leaders in political and environmental aspects of architectural technology. We have moved from just simply being a department that prepares work-ready graduates, and the focus now is just making sure that we also nurture leaders in the industry with a particular focus on architectural technology beyond just being ready for architectural practice. In the late 2019 and the beginning of 2020, the Department of Industrial Design at TUT and the Department of Architecture merged into one department. And one of the major things there was to help the school also have a focus on making as a major aspect of its teaching practice or pedagogy. And so there are mainly three approaches to teaching that make the school unique. The first of them is work-integrated learning, which came with the tradition of technicons in South Africa, and TUT as a previous technicon that merged into becoming a University of Technology has maintained work-integrated learning as part of our teaching. And in their second year of study, architecture students, they go and work for 6 months at an architectural practice, then spend the rest of the 6 months back on the campus. The other aspect is making as pedagogy, or making as a teaching tool, what we call design through making. And the focus there is to develop a design from paper into modeling, then also into making it. So students, they don't just only focus on creating ideas on paper and also in computer models and even small-scale model, but we're introducing an aspect of making things on one-to-one scale. Some of this work has been integrated with community work. So some of the work that the students do in the studio is taken into a community project. And that makes the school quite unique in its focus on architectural technology. Then the third aspect of it is travel as pedagogy. Traditionally, the school has integrated traveling as part of learning, and this is just beyond factory visits, which most other Department of Architecture do. We also allow students to travel in order to learn new spaces, and that also lines up with the internationalization of the Tshwane University of Technology, and this encourages students to link up and also staff to link up with other universities within and outside the country. We have the following facilities that lines up with our teaching approach. As I mentioned, that our merge with industrial design also was aiming at increasing our focus on making as part of our pedagogy or as part of our teaching approach. With industrial design brought along some facilities that we also share with them, but one particular one in our department, mainly in the architecture side, is the MakerSpace. And this is a workshop with different tools, mostly working with timber, where students can make furniture, students can make shuttering for concrete in some of the years, and in some cases they are also able to create objects that can be used as part of their design presentation, and in some cases those same objects are taken and donated into other communities. So the MakerSpace is really quite an important aspect of the department in ensuring that its philosophy of making is enforced. And the projects for MakerSpace are integrated into design from the first year of study all the way to the final year of study, which is our 6th year. In addition to the MakerSpace, we also have the Design Nexus, which is a VR room that also allows students to explore using technology and computer technology and looking at using that as a design tool in the design process. We also have computer labs, as most architecture schools do have, but our unique offering then is that we also then, in addition to that, allow students to explore virtual reality in the design process. The other facility that we have is we have design studios. We have 2 buildings, Building 11 and Building 2. Building 11 is a newer building, and Building 2 is our older building where the department, especially the Department of Architecture, was housed. In both buildings, we have both classrooms and we have design studios, we have pin-up spaces. In some cases where we have the pin-up spaces, we also use it as create spaces or design studio spaces. In the facilities that we are sharing with industrial design, it gives our students more tools to translate their ideas into actual built work. And one of those is the CNC cutter. We also have a number of 3D printers and a laser cutter available for students to use. And these are all facilities that make it easier for the new approach of the school to design, develop, make, model, and make. Then we also have our biggest auditorium in Building 11, which houses a capacity of 200 students. And that also allows for different activities such as the departmental school talks, which we run through the school in order to expose students to people in practice. So there's a strong link between what happens in the department and what happens in practice. So that facility plays a huge role. In our different facilities, including the auditorium and some of the classroom, we have upgraded technology to make sure that we have one of the latest technologies to allow teaching and also to facilitate learning among students. Our main programs that we offer is a BArch, or Bachelor of Architecture. And that Bachelor of Architecture from year 1 to year 3 focuses on studio-based learning integrated with teaching in classrooms, and as well as I mentioned, with traveling and the making. In their 4th year of study, we have what we call the Y-split. And what the student do, they can split into a specialization in design or specialization in technology. So now that stream carries on to their 5th year and 6th year. So you will have specialization in technology in 4th year, in their 5th year and the 6th year, and also specialization in design in their 4th year, 5th year and 6th year. This also makes the school unique in that it allows a particular focus on technology as we aim to grow that and make sure that our graduates are well vested as sustainable design leaders in technology, especially architectural technology. And just a brief history there is that the previous HOD of the school, Errol Peters, when he envisioned that program, especially with technology, it was also just to allow architects to get involved, not in designing buildings, but also to think about the components and the design of the components of buildings. Who designs a window? Who designs a door? Because most of the time, architects just simply specify these components. But I think this program allows them also to really be part of the design process for that. Some of our graduates from the Masters of Architectural Technology, which is the final postgraduate degree that if they take on the stream or the technology stream, are working for companies like Saint-Gobain, which focuses on making building products, such as drywalling products and other types of products. So in that sense, the school has a unique offering and gives the graduates a unique career in that direction. In the future, we do aim that this can be taken through to our new doctorate program, the Doctor of Architecture that we offer in the school, or as we call it shortly, the DARC. And that will allow them to also do more research in these different architectural technology, particularly in building technology, and also being leaders in that and taking up the space on what is building architectural technology and where should it go and where should it be. The university in its overall approach now is aiming at preparing future-ready graduates, and what we are doing in the department aligns quite well with the university strategy. In addition to that, we also offer a program in surveying, architectural surveying with photogrammetry. And this is also quite a unique offering in the school, in that most the traditional methods of surveying in architecture are becoming obsolete in some cases, and therefore we are encouraging our students to look at the use of photogrammetry, which is a simple tool of surveying with photographs, which also gives accurate information about buildings and their dimensions. So that's quite a unique offering, and therefore we have facilities like a laser scanner. We're also acquiring drones, and hopefully in the future we can also have all of these services of doing surveying offered by the department. One of the most unique things about the Department of Architecture at TUT is the social life of students and staff. The staff members, they have staff lunches every Monday, which allows stronger team building and unity within the staff, and also allows for sharing of information much better. So this also facilitates integration, both vertical and horizontal, within the department. And then we also encourage students to do socials in addition to traveling, which is another way of bonding when they travel outside of the country or within the country. They are allowed to run various through the body of the AIRC, which is a student representative representing both departments, architecture and industrial design. They're able to raise up issues within the department, but they are also able to mingle among themselves. They do fundraising in order to have social events. They also sometimes make T-shirts that are also advertising the department and expressing what they want to express about the department. So these are quite important aspects, because the studio life, which plays a huge role in learning, that allows students not only to learn from lecturers but also to learn from one another. And this is facilitated by all of these social activities, and so that a first-year student will now know a fifth-year student, and if they need to ask anything about design, they'll be able to mingle and able to relate to each other. So these are quite important activities in the department that not just only focus on the learning and teaching, but also the overall life of the student, and make sure that they are complete in many aspects. So community work in the department is integrated with teaching and research. So we have ongoing research projects that are done in the community, and community projects that are part of the teaching in the department. So this plays a huge role in how the department integrates teaching, research, and learning. We also make use of all the available facilities to achieve all of this, or to complete all of these community projects, including our newly acquired trailer that allows the storage of materials and tools, and also serves as a facility that can be used as a site office on site when we're doing community projects. And this is also quite a unique way in the school, that community project is not just a separate element, but that it ties up with all the different aspects of research and also teaching in the department. Over the 5 years, we have been intentionally building our own identity as a Department of Architecture in relationship to other schools within South Africa. And the main aspect of it was to look at what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses, with a huge focus on work readiness, as was our previous strength or our previous focus, making sure that when our graduates complete their studies, they are ready to be productive or to be to contribute effectively in an office or a practice environment. We are now rather going a step further and say not only should our graduates be ready for work, but they should be leaders in architectural technology. And this focus on technology, especially making in architecture, and the translation of design ideas into physical, built, made projects as part of their learning and as part of the teaching approach. That's the niche that the department has taken. And this has been synthesized by the merge between architecture and industrial design. We have projects that we are doing together with industrial design to access those facilities and skills that they already have to build our identity in that sector. Because the future of architecture is not in simply designing buildings, but also thinking about real problems in society. How can our graduates become solutions in the real problems, especially in unequal society like South Africa? Their role they can play in working in places like informal settlements, and the role they can play in working in corporate environments. So our students are exposed on that spectrum of work. With the skills they have, they can make a change in a small rural community somewhere, or informal settlement somewhere, or even in being part of a practice that's set up in a corporate environment and doing large developments.